Hi there, Cancer. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for November. This month begins with the Sun combining with Mercury, the planet of talk and thought. And I think when it comes to your personal creativity, talents, and even your sense of humour, you're going to be absolutely bubbling as you go into this new month. From the 4th through to the 10th, these two planets are angling up with Pluto, the planet which has been so influential around your relationships over the last 7 years. This can see you making some profound links to someone you encounter during that period of time. For some fortunate Cancers, this could be really significant as far as your love life is concerned. But with the Sun combining with Mercury, it's also important not to jump to conclusions, which is possible. And there is a quarter moon which occurs on the 7th, which kind of underscores this. This occurs in the sign of Aquarius, and it's just suggesting that there could be a little bit of jealousy or possessiveness working its way around perhaps an existing relationship, and patience is going to be important, especially if someone can't quite keep up with the bubbly way that you're moving through the early days of the month. There is, however, a fine link between Venus and Uranus in the first week of this month. This suggests that an opportunity could come up around your professional situation, but it may come completely out of the blue. But stay on your toes and be nimble, because the more flexible you are and not too settled in how you want it to be, if you're up for how something could be a bit different, I think there could be a chance that you can seize to show people and demonstrate just how talented you really are. On the 9th, Mars moves into a very passionate part of your scope, where he's going to be for the following 6 weeks. This can give you tremendous willpower, determination, but it can also be a bit compulsive. So if there is something that you've long hankered for in terms of a big ticket item, it may become much more of a draw during this period of time. Of course, Mars is about the more sexual side of relationships, and the 8th house is about as hot as it gets. So you may find that your desires are going to be ramped up on the back of this too. But there's more than this, because on the 12th, Venus moves into your opposite sign. This is a very positive transition. Venus then goes on to forge from the 22nd to the 27th an alliance with Pluto. Now this is an aspect which has its upsides and it also has its downsides. In terms of its positivity, it can make you much more conscious of who's really valuable in your world. Even if it's people you rub along with on a daily basis, suddenly you can kind of think, wow, they are so valuable to me. And that can be a very nice feeling to experience. On the other hand, your desire side is going to be ratcheted up to such a level. Certainly if you're footloose and fancy free, you may find yourself drawn towards someone on the back of this, along with Mars making its way through this very deep and almost compulsive part of your scope to get involved, get up close and personal with someone, get much more sensual. And that could lead to some excitement, or someone could be attracted to you and try to draw you into some kind of intimate embrace. But you need to decide if there are some strings. When these two get together, it's usually about money and sex. And it can cause some real problems if there's one person who has an ulterior motive. So you need to be very clear about yours and very clear about anyone you get involved with. If you both have the same vision of what the connection would be about, then that's fine. But if one of you is looking for a more sincere emotional connection, this particular aspect can cause some problems. On the 22nd, the Sun moves into a much more practical part of your scope where Saturn has been. Now Saturn is forging an amazing link with Jupiter all through this month. Jupiter's in the part of your scope that's to do with home, family, and anything to do with property matters, to be honest. And in this angle with Saturn, I think those areas can be really linked in a very fortunate way. Jupiter's about expansion, Saturn's more about restriction, so they balance each other out very well. If you're very much applying the details of a situation and you're meticulously careful about what you're trying to achieve, anything to do with building an extension, making some renovations, downsizing, upsizing, could all go very well this month and also into December too. However, the Sun then goes on to forge a lovely new moon in an area which can give your health, fitness and energy a little bit of a boost ordinarily. But this full moon is going to be angling up in a right angle to Neptune, the planet of dreams. And I do feel that there could be a sense that any obligations or responsibilities to others just will seem to weigh heavily on you as this month comes to a close. There could also be some misunderstandings, mixed messages, and you need to be very clear about what your boundaries are and what you're prepared to do for others and what you expect from them. If you can do this, you can override the more debilitating influence of Neptune. But Neptune works in a very subtle way. It tends to erode structures. And because Saturn is in the part of your scope to do with everyday routines and your health, I do feel as this month comes to a close, if you're trying to do too much, your energy could take a bit of a dive. But there's certainly lots of opportunities this month to think very carefully about your relationships with others, your special talents, and how you can communicate them and link with other people in the way that you do. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.